can sit there and tell me, oh yeah, I've done some deals with attorneys, it's great. Well, yeah, but have you done 10 to 12 deals with the same attorney? Do they keep coming back to you? Do they know that you're going to produce for them over and over? That's kind of what this is about. Some of the fun things I've been able to do. I love talking about this because opportunities flow when you're able to produce. I had the opportunity to meet Kevin Costner. I interviewed Phil Jackson. You guys, I'm from Chicago, okay? That's where I grew up. I'm a huge basketball player, right? So 80s and 90s, Phil Jackson coached the Bulls, okay? So one of the things I asked him, one of my favorite questions I asked him, I said, what was the biggest regret that you have in coaching? And you know what he said? He said, I regret not teaching, or not taking my 10, 11, 12, my deep bench players and treating them the same as I did my starting lineup. And I think when a lot of people come into real estate, it's super overwhelming. There's a lot of people that are in social media. I mean, everybody says that they're amazing on social media, but behind closed doors, who knows, right? But the thing is that people get super intimidated by this stuff. And so what this is meant to do is take you from that deep bench and bring you into the starting lineup because nobody else is doing it, okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit about where I was before I started, right? Because when I was introduced, you heard that I was a criminologist, and I am. I worked in criminology for 15 years, specialized in human trafficking, sexual violence, real heavy, super heavy, right? When I got out of grad school, I was supposed to have this position. I was going to be teaching at my alma mater. I was going to be an adjunct professor. And I also was going to be running a grant. And you know what happened? 2 weeks before the class was supposed to start, they hired somebody full-time, and the grant got pulled. So I was like, what do? I had no idea what to do. I didn't know where to live. I had to move out of my place because I didn't have a place. I moved in with my friend's parents. And I worked at a jail. Yeah. First day out there, my first day on the floor, I remember this woman had broken a mirror in her room and was just like jabbing her arm. And there's blood flying everywhere, and I was like, oh my God, what did I just get myself into? But I stuck with it for a little while because it was my first job. But I knew that I couldn't really make rent. I was like $1,000 above the poverty line, making 24 grand a year. So I started bartending. Then I started writing grants. Then I worked in human trafficking stuff, which again, nonprofits, 42 grand a year. That's what some people make in about 20 minutes, right? And then I worked as a salesperson, I worked for Sylvan, I was a center director. I mean, I went all over the place because I wasn't really finding what I liked. The longest I stayed somewhere was about 3 years, okay? I was also a barista. I mean, you name it, I've done it. And then there's my husband, Dan. God bless his soul. He works in IT, he still does. Worked for 2 places, right? That's how he is, though. I'm the one who's like, woo, let's move to Mexico. We almost did. And he was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, let's do it, you know? But anyway, needless to say, we didn't make it because we had kids. Those are my boys. On the left, that's Kellen with the glasses. He's 12. Jonah on the right, he's 10, my basketball player. Shocker, right? And my youngest one, Jonah, was born very early. And so the first year of his life, garbage. In and out of hospitals, trying to figure out what to do with him. There's no way I was going to be able to work. And likewise, me going back to the job that I did, making 42 grand a year, didn't really seem to make sense, right? And so what ended up happening was October of 2017. I'm at home with the kids. Dan calls me from work, and he's like, I just got laid off. So I was like, okay, this is our one job that we have right now. You just got laid off out of nowhere, and I work a $40,000 a year job. What are we going to do? And so it's sort of in that moment that I said, you know what? This is a sign. I'm going to look at this as a blessing and say this is the time for us to make a decision, to make a change, to not have anybody else determine what we are worth. We get to make that decision and we get to decide. And so I jumped 2 feet in. It was a silly Facebook post, right, for a free seminar, which I think we all know they're not free.